This is my corner tea bar outside, and we are with our friend Marisa that came from California to visit, Magdalena, me, Carlos. What we are doing is, of course, drinking a lot of tea like we do in the weekends in the morning. And I decided that it was a good time to record because we had a couple of special tea here, and we actually had a lot of talk about Shou Puerh. You're drinking Shou Puerh a lot, I understand. So I wanted to show her. You got that? That's a good one.
I knew I was drinking. I drink Puerh every day, and I knew I was drinking Puerh, but I couldn't answer whether I was drinking Shou Puerh or not. So that's my level of Puerh knowledge before the start of this conversation. Is
when I ask you what kind of Puerh are you drinking, you're like, wait, what?
Wait, what? Yeah.
Kind?
There's
Well,
kind.
at least you were beyond it's tea, you know.
So, yeah. What have you learned at this point?
So, Puerh is a place, Hunan province. Is that right?
Yunnan.
Yeah. And it is also what Puerh is now called, is just referred to as the same term as the place. But the kind of batching process, how it ends up being made, is so distinct that Shou Puerh and Sheng Puerh are relevantly different. Essentially, it's important to understand that Shou Puerh tends to be an older, longer process in higher quantity, to correct me if I'm wrong, and Sheng has more to do with the actual steps of preparation, and it does not take as much time or as much quantity at once to produce.
No, I think you got confused with Liu Bao. So Liu Bao is a fermented tea like Shou Puerh. Borrowed the fermentation process of Liu Bao because originally Sheng was the thing. It was pressed and done in a way that it was thought through to be able to age, and over the years it will become something darker and with more character than recently pressed. So Shou Puerh became a thing when they were trying to mimic that process of aging, which you can only get through 20 years of aging, so you can't just do it by borrowing the fermentation process of Liu Bao. So when I explain what Liu Bao was,
that's how it. Okay.
Yeah. So Liu Bao ferments on little baskets, and it has more process, and it's like a lot more involved in that sense, compared to Shou Puerh, which is wudui, a big 1 ton at least, a big amount of tea, usually like from different places, it doesn't matter, and they just kind of like turn it around and in big factory. So it's not doable for a small batch farmer. Liu Bao is more doable, but Liu Bao is from somewhere else, not from Puerh. But you were right about that. Puerh is an area, and it's the only tea that is denomination based on a location. The rest of the teas are known by the process.
So it's Sheng Puerh kind of by default if it is not Shou Puerh. It's young if it is not made with this. If the Shou Puerh process, if that's not done, if Puerh tea is picked, it's kind of automatically Sheng. Is that how that works?
No, so you can have any tea made with tea that grows in Yunnan province, because that's how it is. Tea is the base for green tea, yellow, white tea, whatever you want. Black tea from Yunnan province is known as Yanhong, and it's my favorite kind of black tea. So you can make any kind of tea from that, but the process of Sheng is so that it can be stored. So they will not focus so much in the immediate consumption, but they will focus on how this taste will age over time in a certain type of storage, drier storage or wetter storage. So that's kind of like the difference. Although I think in the early 2000s, late 90s, people started drinking young Sheng, like not meant to be drunk, and a whole culture of drinking young Sheng started, and so it became a commodity, and the price skyrocketed, and it was almost like buying Bitcoin at that point. Yeah, it was crazy. So it has normalized, and the bubble popped. But as a remainder of that, there is a big market for young Sheng Puerh, and I do have a lot of that tea, and I have it from a particular vendor called Farmer Leaf. And it's not something that I'm so accustomed to because I've drunk all the teas through my life. So I'm learning more about how to appreciate Yongsheng. But so that is that now. It used to be horrible. Like if I show you a factory Sheng Puerh that was made to be storage, just the same year, you try to like brew it how you brew it, it's just gonna make your mouth dry and it's astringent and bitter and stuff like that. So that's the thing with pu'er.
I have a question. So I buy pu'er from lots of different sources, pretty much wherever I can get it, and oftentimes it doesn't say Sheng or Shou. It just says pu'er. If it says, obviously it's not for the discerning tea buyer, but when it is just kind of a generic tea that says pu'er on it, is it Shou or Sheng or neither?
It's not for you anymore. After this, you should not be buying from any of those sources.
You're not too smart to buy that.
Yeah.
Well, I have some left over, so I'm wondering what it is.
Drink it, but I think
You can call the number on the back of the thing. They're like, "What is this?" They'll be like,
It's just like it's coffee. You know what I mean? I bought coffee, and it says coffee, and whatever you like, right? Light roast, you like dark roast, you like Arabica. What kind of coffee you like, right? So. You will be at some point where it's coffee.
It's the Lipton of pu'er. It's like, don't worry so much. Calm down. It's the answer.
Exactly. And you were drinking today a type of pu'er. You are very into Liu Bao because it has a more complex development and body, and it's more of a tea that is better to be gong food, although it wasn't originally made for that. But because it's more complex and nowadays it's done with better materials, you like that better because it has more to give. It's a heicha as well. So we brewed Orientaleaf's Ancient Gushu 3 Essentials, which is a very expensive Shou Puerh, $130 for 357-gram cake, 2 demonstrates. And I also brewed my overnight thermos that I didn't do it overnight, but I did it for hours, and that is basically the same as the Daiyi V93, young, like a couple of years old, but it's a version from Orientaleaf. I can't remember the name, sorry about that, but I will put a link to that in the description. And it's wonderful, right? So I drink that stuff 2 liters a day, every day of the week, bro. And
your people are gonna want to know what you be drinking that much. You gotta put that link in the description.
It's the shit. So like, I can't be without. I mean, I can't, but it's awesome. So you were drinking that, and my point of doing this comparison was for you to show you that, at some point, in my opinion, and this is my subjective, tea is subjective, okay? Like, we can all have our own opinions, nobody needs to be offended. For me, Shou Puerh is not something that needs to be overthought and like super expensive or like crazy quality, It needs to be good, it needs to be not a bunch of chemicals in it and all of that, but I enjoy it better like that, done in a thermos overnight, thick like engine oil. Like if you pour it, you can see through it, kind of a thing. And on the other hand, when you start going into a very high quality Shou Puerh and the material is ancient trees and all of that, it's wonderful. Right? I mean, you love it. I'm not saying that it's bad, but to me, it is better than to buy Liu Bao, because Liu Bao is got all that process and all of that. Is going to be relatively cheaper for a really high quality Liu Bao, and you're going to have a similar experience. So at some point, Shou Puerh goes away from the idea of making a lot of quantity in a factory. That's how it started, into a more refined thing, and it just kind of like loops back into Liu Bao. You know what I mean? In my opinion. Okay. So that was one thing. I'm drinking myself something else. Actually, this is an experiment for them. I'm drinking one of the oolongs that came in the box yesterday from Lincoln Tea Factory. But I wanted to ask you, like, in your opinion, how was the experience of drinking the high quality ancient tree Shou Puerh compared to just drinking a regular Shou Puerh or drinking Bilbao as you like Bilbao.
Yeah, we were kind of wondering, like, well, what is the difference of this ancient tree versus the other? And we felt that the taste tasted like an old man's leather wallet in his old jacket pocket.
That smoked.
Yeah, his addition was it's a leather wallet in a bag where cigarettes are always kept. So it's a little bit of tobacco with that leather.
Not ashtray, but like fresh
tobacco and leather and time.
Yeah, it definitely had like a more aged flavor.
I found a very strong dark chocolate flavor to it. Did you guys feel that?
No, I didn't get the
I see why you feel that. It's like it's underneath. The dark chocolate is like a pervasive underneath kind of feeling, but there's so much more going on.
A daily dark chocolate, 100% the chocolate eater. So like, if she's saying you're tripping,
that's not chocolate at all. I eat that.
So, I eat straight cacao.
I had it earlier. Yeah,
literally does.
I did earlier today. So it really affected my digestive system. And I felt like it lasted a long time, so many steeps.
Yeah, so this is steep number 12.
It had a long, it's still giving, so I do think that the old growth trees, it affected my digestive system way more. Like I felt that.
In a good way or a bad way?
Well, for me it makes me a little nauseated, but it's more that it makes me want to eat something. Like I want to eat, I'm ready to eat.
This is powerful.
And it's lasted a really long time, so I do think the old growth has value in a different flavor.
You can taste that it is deep in the earth. It tastes like something I haven't tasted because I don't eat things that go that deep usually.
Yeah.
It tastes unique to me.
Yeah, I would say that that tea that we brewed with the same water, right, overnight, so there is not a bunch of steeps. If you try to steep it as many times as this one, it tastes like crap, So. And it's not because the tea is bad, it's just not meant to be drunk for an extended period of times in multiple steeps. So this is kind of like a way of being able to drink Shou Puerh in a Gong Fu way, I guess. But
older Gong Fu, the older Shou Puerhs do well in Gong Fu.
Better,
but most of the other Puerhs aren't really helped at all by Gong Fu. They don't.
In my opinion, but that can be refuted by other people that are
sure. People have lots of strong, and it probably depends on the Puerh itself. Like I'm sure specific ones thrive in Gong Fu.
Exactly.
And some of them thrive in engine oil.
The next, just like wine, right? I mean, people be like, well, the 1997 was better than the 1998. Like,
well, you might be right, actually, but I don't have both of those. So,
so it's difficult to argue. But in general,
I do think the old growth there is a difference. There is a real difference.
You do.
I like having it in the mix.
How do you like drinking? So the other thing that it allows you to actually pour yourself a cup. And it's not just a tasting. You can pour yourself a cup. So it's good for like grab and go, right? How do you like that presentation of it compared to having to sit down and do it Gong Fu? You prefer the Gong Fu?
I mean, in certain contexts, I certainly do prefer the Gong Fu when it's community time and it's the right tea for it. I see why we all live, I think anyone who's watching this lives on tea. We live on tea. And so this is the living on tea, and this is the celebration and community and relaxation and conversation. Conversation. Yeah. This is like day to day, me living my life, like making my life great and powering myself.
Be able to function and
and so many different ways of doing tea end up strapped to our body and with us all day in a thermos. Like there's so many ways that happens around the world, and like that's a very authentic human relationship to tea. We all have that, or many of us have that, where it's like tea and I coexist. It's part of what fuels me.
Well, you got to go to work too, sometimes you can sit and have tea all morning, but
I basically only go for on the weekends, and in the week if I do Gong Fu because I'm like just crazy, it will be 6, 7 p.m., 8 p.m. and it will be in dark oolong, because dark oolong allows me to sleep no problem. For some reason, not everyone will react the same way, but that, like this oolong that I'm drinking right now is an old bush narcissus aroma, so that would translate to Dan Kong Shu Xiang from Wuyi Mountain. It's a rock tea. This kind of tea, no problem. I can just have it at night right before to bed, no problem. If I have green tea, on the other hand, I'll be stuck to the ceiling, turning my head around like the guys from the movie The Exorcist. So cool. I don't want to take like a whole hour to like do this video, but I think we got the points through. I think that you probably are excited now to get links and resources from where to get tea directly from the people that are providing good tea instead of like getting middleman price and not really good tea, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have loved to have that for the first 3-4 years that I spent a bunch of money on bad tea, because I didn't know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
We all need help from each other. Where's the good tea? What's the worthwhile place to be getting this? Yeah.
yeah, and not just to like fall for the beautiful Instagram post, but
Yeah.
actually the actual.
Just because it has nice packaging doesn't mean that it's the one for you.
Yeah, and on the other hand, I have to say, like Westerners that are looking for like small farm boutique tea, they kind of appreciate shitty packaging. In Chinese culture, they actually appreciate very nice packaging, so you can gift stuff. So you can probably be discouraged to buy certain teas because they come in such a nice packaging, I guess. But no, don't be discouraged. So like teas from Orientaleaf and from Lingsang or Lingsang factory, they both have really nice packaging. And it's not because they're trying to compensate with packaging, it's because they're actually really good.
Yeah.
So we are, I think, done for today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.